Welcome back, DigiDs. We're playing some more Kerbal Space Program 2 today, and I'm still excited. I went to work today, and the entire time I was just sitting there just thinking, like, man, I can't wait to get home to play some more Kerbal. This is still only the second time I'm gonna have, that I would have played it, still since installing it. But I can tell you that I think after this session here today, I'm gonna be playing a whole bunch. I'm gonna try to actually learn how the inner workings of this game actually like all interlock with one another, because I am still a big beginner when it even comes to even trying to make something. As you already saw in the last video, it didn't exactly go anywhere. We built a small rocket, it went up, and it came down equally as fast. But with that being said, how about we actually just jump into the vehicle assembly building and try to take a look at what we have available to be building to us. I think our main objective for this video is going to be, I think I want to just try to get to orbit. The Mun, or, the Moon, is they just call it the Mun. Real, real creative on their name choice. But I think this time we just want to achieve orbit. Now, I did take a look at the settings and the campaign and a couple things to take a look and see what was going on. I did end up having to change the colors. Oh dear, where am I? I did end up having to change the colors because I deleted the campaign to take a look at the campaign settings to maybe see if I missed something. So as it is at the moment, the game is just in sandbox mode. So that's why I was a little bit confused as to why I have access to so many different parts. It's because in its early access mode right now, it's sandbox, you kind of have everything, you're just experimenting. It's more meant to be reporting those bugs. I mean, it's early access, right? That's kind of the whole point. But we're just glad to even have anything at this point at all. We have been seeing so many news and trailers and little tidbits of information that's been leaked out on what is to come, and now it's actually here. We may as well just play around with it. So if we want to get to orbit, let's maybe go something bigger on the command pod. So before we were dealing with this little thing, right? How about, ooh, that's a little bit bigger. Let's take a look at all of our different capsules here. Let's just see what we have available to us. Let's just drag them all out. There we go. So we have, the biggest one is this MK3-5, the Cockatoo. Originally called the Cockpit Plus 2, the 5-seat Cockatoo is a second-generation command pod that provides both safety and comfort. Nice. So how many Kerbins can this actually hold? Oh, well, that's right, a 5-seat. Okay, so it can hold 5 Kerbins in that thing. That's pretty great. We got this thing here, a smaller one. It's kind of a little bit more slender, I suppose. Not really slender, but like flat. It's kind of, it almost seems like a viewing point, where you would have it on a station and you kind of look out through the windows about what's going on all around you. This one more seems for like larger rockets and travel. Let's see here. The command pod with with a view. It is equipped with a small battery, monopropellant storage, and a small reaction wheel. Ooh, now that is kind of helpful. So that's kind of a do all everything capsule that just kind of has a little bit of it all for you. Nice. Some smaller lander cans. Yeah, a 2-seat lander designed to transport a pilot and crew to the surface of any body they wish to explore. So nice. So it probably, I imagine, has a little bit of fuel in it. I think it does. Impact tolerance, electric charge, monopropellant. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's good for like laying down with some small legs and whatnot. All right. Well, we have a lot of choices available to us, but if we want to get to orbit and actually achieve something, I say we just get a little ridiculous with how it's going to go. Let's get rid of all these parts. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Now, this is going to be our main capsule that we're going to start building off of. This is a 5-seater, big old boy. This thing is it's nearly 3 times the size of the regular capsule. Okay, more than 3 times the size. that is a big brother to this capsule. Let's get rid of that. But I think our biggest problem last time was, well, we didn't have enough fuel and we didn't have enough engines. When you try to look at trying to get to space and anywhere in space, that typically comes down to the biggest reason. Not enough fuel, not enough engines. That's why SpaceX right now just built a giant grain silo, filled it up full of fuel, and put 33 engines on it. And guess what? It's going places. So, hey, I know it said that this is a 5-seater. It has monopropellant and I don't know if this one has the reaction wheel in it. However, what I'm going to do regardless is try to electrical, communication, utility. Where are those reaction wheels? Here they are, stabilizers. Yeah, let's just throw one on this bottom side. Give it a good old stabilization. Now, we're going to need a decoupler. Here they are. So I guess I'm working in the large category, or the types of parts I'm looking for. Which I do love the fact that they sized all of them, because now you know, you're not looking at this and like, oh, I think that fits. No, if it's a large part, you look for large parts. And there you go. Nice. So, that is our top side. Do we need to worry about rescue? You know, just in case, we may as well throw on a couple of parachutes. They could come back down. They might. They likely will. There's no way we're going to be able to get this first try, so yeah. That's a drogue chute. Let's get the regular chute. There we go. Now, I believe these things have settings. They do. Deploy settings. Safe, risky, immediate, pressure, deploy altitude. Now this. Deploy altitude. So you can activate the parachute early, and it'll still cause drag simply because you got a, a big old chute that's just sitting there in the air flapping around. But it won't fully inflate until it hits this altitude. So what I typically like to do back in KSP 1, I would activate it early just to slow you down, but it would take so long to float back down. So I don't want it to actually fully deploy until about like 500 meters above the ground, above your elevation. Now the drogue chutes, those I typically open up a little bit sooner because they don't slow you down as much because they are weaker. So they can open up and deploy earlier to kind of get that main speed down. I'm trying to see here. We have our parachutes. Where are the side-mounted radial chutes? These are all the things that go on top of it. Here we go. Radial mount chute. Radial mount drogue chute. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Now, this is a big capsule, so let's go ahead and just put like 5 of these on. Oh, it goes 4 to 6. Let's not block the escape hatch like we did last time accidentally. If I go off to this right-hand side, will I be able to pull up the settings for them? No. If I click on one, does it do it for all of them? Deploy settings, deploy settings. I wonder if there's a way to get this to apply to all of them. Because, yeah, I don't want that opening up at 2,000. Let's get these opened up at like 1,000. Okay, it did. It did. It moved all of them. Deploy settings. Oh, that's good. Okay, so it does kind of cross over. Very nice. Alright, now we just spent all of our time looking at just the capsule. Let's actually get to the fun part. Fuel tanks. Oh boy. Nice. They got like separators, giant pieces, mediums. Let's see here. Is there a large separator? In a way that like kind of goes in both directions. Much like how this one does, but bigger. It almost looks like he's wearing pants. Okay, so if a rocket wore pants, would it wear them like this? There we go. You know what? Too small. Too small. We must go bigger. We do have an extra large. Do we have anything that perhaps we do? Okay, so that one goes from small to big. We need something that goes from our part to even bigger. Not quite seeing what I'm looking for. But that matters not, because all we really need are fuel tanks. Ooh, what's this? Does it, like, curve inward a little bit? It has a little bit of a lip to it, I suppose. Oh, I get it. It's flat on some of these edges, so you can attach stuff better to it. That's nice. Or you can always just go more round. I think round is going to be better. I can see the appeal of having a flat edge to some of these fuel tanks, especially if you get on the ground, fall over, and it starts rolling down a hill. So that is obviously good. And I'm sorry, I lied to you. That is not good enough. More fuel tanks. More. We need to drag this thing up a little bit. And how do we... There we go, yeah. Drag it up. More. More. Alright, I think that's good to start off with. Let's take a look at our engines. Now, it's not going to be a single stage to orbit type of rocket. We're going to be kind of taking a look in. We're probably going to have multiple stages to this, right? So let's take a look. We have our large rockets. We have 2 large rockets available to us right now. Impact tons, max thrust 1 at the moment. 3,700 100 at max thrust. Oh, but max thrust in a vacuum, 42. So if we look at the other one, max thrust in a vacuum, 17, max thrust in atmosphere. Okay, not 1 at the moment, ATM for atmosphere. 1 in the atmosphere. So 37, 15. This one's more than double. And it's not even double the mass. But this one does have a higher tolerance for max temperature. Okay, I see. Well, I'm gonna have to say that this was probably better. It is, not probably, it is better. However, we have one other rocket here. What is this? It's a little bit of a smaller one. A Labradoodle rocket. That's funny. Let's see here. Max temp 15, max thrust and atmosphere 341. Okay, this is a little baby one. That's like meant to just kind of very small rockets, even though it's a large part. But I can see that being very useful. So if we just go ahead and just throw this on the bottom. Wait a second. Hang on a second. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Is this gonna connect, though? That's the question. Ooh, come on. Come on. Work with me here. I don't think we're gonna have enough fuel here, DigiDs. I think we're gonna run out real fast. Oh, that's great. But now, I did say it was going to be multiple stages, so, you know, let's keep it down to 1, because what we're going to have a lot of our rockets on are the stages. We have our decouplers. Yeah, there it is, the radial decoupler. We're going to want, ooh, let's go classic. Let's start with our roots, right? A good old two-sided rocket. Now, is there a way to kind of refocus my camera? That's what I want to wonder. We have that. That is, I think, one gripe I do have about this at the moment with this game, is that maybe I need to teach myself a little bit better on how to manage all the camera work, but it seems a little bit kind of like stuck and magnetized to some issue, like some parts. Like, it really wants to focus on this pod, you know, of course, but I'm trying to get it to zoom into other locations. It doesn't want to work with me here. But we can more than easily enough work with this. And again, it is early access. But let's take a look at our engines again, because yes, a solid fuel rocket motor is what we're looking for. A solid fuel booster. We have, the biggest ones are those mediums. Ooh, that's a good size right there. Attach them to both, because how this is going to work is that we're going to fire off both of these first, and then as soon as the fuel runs out in those, you decouple them so they fly off to the edges, like off to the sides, and then the main one down below starts going. And that's what we're going to be really looking for. These main ones just get us through the atmosphere. Then the center core is what's actually going to get us into orbit. Now, still trying to figure out this camera control here. Let me see. Okay, how are you so focused on this part? There has to be a way. Not the arrow keys, not R and F. How do I do this? Let's take a look at the controls here. I know, fun video. Yeah, we're going to take a look at all the different controls that we actually have here, like the input. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, there is a lot. I probably need to read some of these and figure it out in the future, but as it is now, what I'm just looking for is camera fast, rotate pitch, SW80, rotate roll, map view, reset camera, home. Not quite what I'm looking for. I saw something, camera fine movement, left alt, right alt. I think that's when you're in flight, though. Oh well. I'm sure we can manage. I'll figure that off. You know, I'll figure that out with off camera, so that way we don't have to bore you too much just looking at this. Now, I thought these were going to be a little bit bigger, but they are not. So, how do we compensate for that? Well, easy. You just need more. More rockets. Symmetry mode? No. Ludicrous mode. There we go. Now that is looking something special. However, we're going to want a little bit of aerodynamics with these, I believe, because these flat tops are going to be slowing us down a lot. Do we need wings? Stabilizers, fine. Fine. We'll put wings on. Oh, wow. You can actually... The root thickness, tip length. Hey. Hey. Oh, that's funny. So you can change everything about it. Nice. That is very unique. I have not seen anything like that before. Wing angle, you can change. Wow. Wing span. Yes. Yes. Tip length. Yes. Tip thickness. Oh, wow. This thing, it's do everything. Length. Position. Oh, boy. I don't think this is going to be good for us. I probably just added so much mass to this rocket. But you know what? That's perfectly fine. But what we're going to do here, I think we're almost... I think we are good enough to go. I don't know if how far we're going to get. But we're going to get somewhere. If something's going to mess us up, it's not going to be the wings. It's going to be probably decoupling. So what we got to do is check our staging, right? Off to this right-hand side, we have all 6 rockets firing. Then we can decouple. Then we can fire the main stage. However, I think what we're going to do, we're going to fire and decouple at the same time. So that way, at the very moment that I'm getting rid of that thrust, I'm getting a new thrust through that center core. Get rid of this stage. You know, actually, what I should do is, yeah, move down the drogue chutes. Put that in its own separate case. And this actually needs to go down there, because we will be decoupling the capsule before we ever use the parachutes. Hopefully, we don't even have to get to this point. We're just trying to reach orbit. Not suborbital, but orbit. So... once you get up there, I don't know if they're going to be coming back down, because I don't know if I even have enough fuel left. But why even talk about all these hypotheticals when we could actually just go find out ourselves? Let's go ahead and launch. And see the way this looks out on the launch pad. Oh dear. Oh dear. Are you telling me that there was something flawed? It was the wings. The wings broke it. Looking majestic there. Must be a new species of fish. Oh, they're just rolling away. Forever gone to the ages. Are they just rolling up the hill? Yeah, they're just bouncing around. Wow. Alright, so, are you ready to fly? Here are a few pointers. Please, go ahead. Yeah, the flight cluster. Okay, yeah, I did have to restart the campaign, so I think it's trying to teach me about all the same stuff from last video. Okay, let's revert to the VAB. Okay. Confirm revert. Let's get rid of the wings. The wings are definitely what did it. The pad almost seems a little bit too small, but then again, my wings are too big. Uh-oh. It's trying. It's trying. Am I about to get the first taste of early access crashing? Alright, we are back. Yes, I had my very first Kerbal Space Program 2 early access crashing experience. In more ways than one. Well, first of all, I crashed the ship without even flying, so that's a first. And secondly, I crashed the game. Which, you know, again, early access, that is perfectly fine. So we got it all started up here, and I made a few changes. I had to rebuild the rocket, but it's mostly the same. I did make the wings a little bit smaller, but I did add a battery at the top, this tiny little circular thing. I added a battery and a couple of stabilizers on the tops of these nose cones. So I imagine I want to be as stable as possible, but that takes power, and to do so, I was probably going to need a battery, so I thought I'd add the battery. But we have our rocket, and it is looking mighty wonderful, sitting out here in this launch pad with the VAB in the background. You got all the running lights up to it. I don't know where this light's coming. Ah, got like a couple lights shining on it. Man, it looks majestic. But I say we just actually launch this puppy and see where it goes, because chances are it may not really go anywhere. But into the night sky, or morning sky? What time is it? It says it is 1 a.m. So it's about to be morning? I would think so. But DigiDs, let's fly our real first rocket. In 3, a 2, a 1, go! Oh, it is barely getting off the pad. Hear those engines roar. Oh, yeah. Look at that plume of death. That is something special. Majestic, even. Goodbye, Kerbin. Goodbye, Earth. Goodbye, civilization. I have a planet to orbit. And we will orbit it. We are getting nowhere fast anytime soon. We're actually going to want to start tipping over now. Let's start getting... We probably should have started tipping over a lot sooner. However, for our first fight, it's not going bad. We're looking off to our nav bow here on the left-hand side, so I'm trying to get towards a 45-degree angle, and hopefully I won't lose control. I'm trying to fly this at the moment, and it is struggling. I'm trying to push it over, and it is not wanting to go, but I believe in it. These rocket motors have a lot more fuel in them than I thought they would. You can see here off to this right-hand side in the bottom right where how much fuel we have left, which is very nice. Usually, like back in KSP 1, we had to open up the part, and you kind of had like a green bar, but you didn't have any exact values. But we will be separating soon. We're going to be decoupling any second now. As soon as that fuel runs out, I'm losing control a little bit. Come on, keep it together. Keep it together. Go to prograde, go to prograde, and detach. Fire the rocket. Go! We have even more liftoff than before. We are currently 34,000 meters above the ground, and I think we need to get to 70,000 when we reach the actual, like, leaving the atmosphere. Well, we're already kind of leaving the atmosphere. There we go. Let's get the stability control. Let's go full horizontal and just start firing sideways. Let's take a look at our orbit right now. Oh, wow. Okay, we are going to not quite reach 70,000. So let's actually start popping up our altitude a little bit more, because we're going to need that distance. The higher you go, the further you go. And hold it right there. Paige, I do not need your help right now. I'm trying to fly a rocket. On the contrary, I probably need a lot more help right now. So AP, that is standing for apoapsis. That is going to be the highest point of our suborbital flight path at the moment. That's going to be our highest point, and that's going to be at 75,000 meters. Now, you get the most bang out of your buck in, like, the terms of, well, I guess a little bit of a pun intended. You get the most bang out of your engine when you're at your apoapsis, because you're trying to push out your periapsis, your lowest point of your orbit, out to its furthest point. And you get the most out of that typically at your apoapsis, because it is, you know, at that point, I'm going to be in a vacuum. The engine performs better in a vacuum, and I think we just reached space. It is at 71,072. Let's just start pushing over then that entire orbital length. We've got our height. Now we just need our speed. Because what orbiting really is just you're falling, except you're falling so fast that you can't hit the ground, in a sense, because, I mean, right now, this is just falling. I'm going super fast. I'm going to go up. I'm going to come down and hit the Earth. Or Kerbin, I'm sorry. But if you go faster, you miss the ground, and you come around again to try to hit the ground again. However, if you're going fast enough, you just never hit the ground. It's brilliant. Whoever designed physics is a genius. All right. So actually, let's go ahead and shut off the engine. Zero throttle. Admire what has come to fruition. Oh, wow. You get the New Horizons, the campaign name, New Horizons. Look at that. A beautiful horizon right there. Sun setting? Rising? Honestly, in space, it's kind of irrelevant. I don't think the sun is ever really setting or rising at that sense, but it is beautiful to see how it can be completely dark over on one side of the planet, but completely lit up on the other side. That beautiful orange glow with the backdrop of the I guess, space sky. I'd like to say night sky, but again, it's not really night. It's irrelevant in space. The whole concept of what we think of down on Earth is completely separate when you're up here in the air. Or rather, the lack thereof. I'm just having to just change all of my wordage and lingo to really try to get my point across. But, so we can actually time warp, although I may not want to time warp because we are coming up to this real quick. Create a maneuver plan, time warp to point. Yeah, let's time warp to point. And there we go. Time warp limited due to proximity to celestial body. Yeah, I'm a little close. Let's start pumping out that speed now. Turn back on the engine. Trying to keep it centered. There we go. I might want to put it on prograde because prograde is just forward, right? So while we're actually waiting for this to reach orbit, your prograde is forward. It's going to be just your orbital path. Retrograde is the opposite, going backwards. It's your brakes. Now, radial in kind of has you pointing towards the thing that you're orbiting, because, you know, you're radial in the inside of your radius, while radial out is going to be, obviously, out. And as well, we have two more here. We have normal and anti-normal. I'm pretty sure I thought those were supposed to have different names. However, oh, hang on. Before I even finish explaining that, have we done it? Have we done it? We're still. So what is our periapsis? Oh boy, it is flying around too quick. Oh, it actually says down here at the very bottom left. Yes, we've done it, DigiDs. Our DigiKs have reached orbit. And we surprisingly have a lot of fuel left. We might just go take another trip and go to the moon. Why not? But down here on the bottom left, it says our apoapsis, our highest point, is nearly 150,000 meters. And our periapsis, our lowest point, which is almost where we are now, is almost at 90,000 meters. Because at that point, they swap. Because we're pushing out our lowest point, so far, it becomes the highest point. And our highest point where we're pushing out now becomes the lowest point. So we have half of our fuel tank left. Let's just full throttle it up and watch the orbital mechanics go to work. That's just going to slowly go out. I'm going to keep an eye on it to when it gets in orbit of the Mun. So can I set target? Yep, set target. Perfect. Now, back to this normal and anti-normal. I could have swore... Oh, that they're the inclinations. That is... I know I'm throwing a lot of words at you very fast. I'm a fast talker, so I'm trying to slow it down a little bit. Now, to reiterate, we have prograde, which is just forward. Retrograde, which is backwards. You have radial in, just, again, inside your radius. Radial out, outside your radius, you know, your orbit. And now back to these normals. That just changes your inclination, your angle of your orbit. If I were to go to normal, my ship would point up, and my whole orbit... I don't know why I'm trying to explain with my hands right now, and you guys cannot see that. But it would point up and push the whole orbit up as well, so it would change the whole angle of how you orbit around the body. And that is everything you need to know about orbits. Orbital mechanics and how to be an astronaut. You are certified, go to NASA and say, hey, I saw this guy on YouTube, and I think I know what I'm doing. I can guarantee you'll be right there in the next seat there with Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut, and Scott Manley, and you'll be golden. You'll be right there next to Buzz Aldrin. Now, let's start slowing down our throttle a little bit, because we are about to reach the moon's orbital plane, and... Ooh, nice, so it is going to give us our... What is it? So distance from target, relative speed. Yeah, so this is where it's going to be in relevancy to where I am, if that makes sense. So I'm slowly moving up our orbital plane. You know, I probably shouldn't be doing that. What I should be doing... You know, this is actually a good time to explain or show this normal and anti-normal. There we go. So, if I start thrusting in this direction, because right now I'm pointed at normal. Okay, yeah, I thought so, yeah. So I need to point up. It's saying that we are -1 below it at this point. So pointing up, the opposite, is going to raise it. And 0 throttle. And did we do it? We did. Right there. Now we're right on the same orbital plane as the moon. Let's go ahead and time warp all the way. You know what? Actually, I think we need to drop down the orbital plane. We went out a little bit too far. Wait for it. There. Nice. So we're going to want to time warp all the way to our apoapsis now. And we are just going to boost. We are just going to burn. And go. And this should be putting us into the same path as the moon. Come on now. Yes! Oh, we're actually going to hit it. We're going to hit the moon. How so? How so? How is this going to work? We're going to come around and smack into it. You know what? I'll accept that challenge. I want to... I don't think I'm going to hit it. You know, here's where we're going to come in. And boom. So that is how. As we are coming around, so you might be a little bit confused as to how are we going backwards to crash into the moon. That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. What's happening is that while we were spinning around Kerbin, we fell into the gravity well of the moon, and it's actually slowing us down. The moon is catching up to us. It is actually coming from behind and going to smack into us. It's not us smacking into it. It is hitting us. So what I'm going to do is do radial out to push out the orbit, because if I do prograde, it's just going to make me go faster into it, right? So radial out and see if we can get ourselves an orbit around the moon. Slowly but surely. A little bit more thrust. Come on now. We do not have a lot of fuel left. Ah, there we go. Our periapsis is only going to be 10,000 meters above. Nice. You know, let's actually take a look. We haven't seen it. Where is it? Where is it? You know, you'd think it'd be pretty hard to miss an entire celestial body like the moon. Ah, there it is. You'd think it'd be hard to do that, but apparently not. Oh, not game pause. No, no, no. There we go. Let's time up a little bit as we watch ourselves just fall into this. Oh, that is just fantastic. It is weird to perceive this at the same time of like watching. Whoa, slow down, slow down, slow down. To like just watch us fall in. Oh, we're still 40,000 meters above where we want to be. We're falling fast, but slow down time. We are pointed straight into the ground. Give it just a little bit of thrust so I can change this move around faster. Because what we want to do is that now we're going to go too fast and we're going to shoot out of the sphere of influence, out of the moon's gravity. There we go. So we want to slow down so we stay inside it. There we go. DigiDs, we've done it. Our mission was to come out here and just orbit Kerbin, but I had enough fuel left over to get to the moon. Now, do we try to go back and save them? Yeah. Okay. Let's actually try to see if we can get them back to splash down on Kerbin. I know I'm going back on so many of my words. I said, well, we're not going to do that. We're just going to orbit. We probably won't get to the moon. Wow, we're not going to need oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Auto ground, orbital, ground orbital. All right. Now this is the point where I put a giant watermark saying early access. Am I getting too close to the ground? How? Is my periapsis? It says my periapsis is only supposed to be 9,600 meters away from the ground. We are getting close, but oh boy, it just keeps on popping up. Early access, let's go! That's great. This in itself should be like the official watermark of early access. Just do a GIF Or, I'm sorry, a GIF of this. Okay, let's actually try to get back to Kerbin now. So we need to go prograde that we are technically in this orbit. This is our orbit right now with the moon. But now that I sped up to get out of the moon's gravity, it is slingshotting me way out of it. It is just falling like a ball at the end of a chain, just being thrown out because it is going out that much further. So let's time warp until we get all the way up to our apoapsis. Let's just go ahead and actually just, yeah, do a time warp to that. Ooh, that goes real fast. Oh, it missed it. Excuse me. Okay, so don't trust the time warp. But now we want to go back to our retrograde, so to slow down ourselves and drop our orbit. Now, we don't have a whole lot of fuel left. We still have a half-decent amount, but not a lot. What I'm going to try to do, so if the atmosphere is around 70,000 meters, or at least that's when you technically are not in space for Kerbin. So I'm going to want to drop myself down to about, let's say, 60 to about 58, enough to get the air to slow us down for us. The pink nebula in the background, that is beautiful. Let's time warp as we watch ourselves drop into the atmosphere here. And boy, I tell you what, this is going to be a long video. I appreciate to all of you who have stuck around and watched it this far. You know, hey, while we're doing this, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you find yourself coming back to be even watching episode 2 of this. You know, or if you like this type of content, or just to watch some random dude ramble about literally anything and everything possible, then you have come to the right place to do so. Are we passing back over the Space Center? We are! That's where we launched from! Oh, I can see my house from here! That is it! Well, that's convenient. I mean, we're not gonna land there. I think we're gonna leave somewhere over there at this point, but that is so coincidentally funny. That is fantastic. I didn't think we would actually fly back over the facility. Got a couple islands out here. Maybe next episode, I think what I want to try to do is to build a plane. That's what we should do. Next episode, that's what we're gonna do, DigiDs. We're gonna build a plane, and we're gonna go visit. Let's try to visit some of these islands. We could even try to visit like the Arctic. Do they have an Arctic? Yes, they do. That is definitely Arctic. Alright, we should be in the atmosphere now, right? We're below 70,000 meters. Perhaps they changed it in this one. Maybe it's down to 60,000? We'll find out shortly here because we're about to drop down below. No, it has to be 70 because I can see this now moving the atmosphere bar. Yeah, okay. So we are pointing retrograde. We're waiting for our periapsis. I had to think there for a second on the word. To where dropping our apoapsis will be the most effective. However, we probably should just start it early because it is going to be a long haul of trying to get it to drop. Just burn all the fuel that we have. Wait for it, and there we go. We are definitely falling in now. The atmosphere is slowing us down. The rocket's slowing us down. We are coming in. Can I time warp while my engines are firing? Yes, I can. But I can't go to time warp 4, only to time warp like 2 or 3. Okay. That's fair, that's fair. I'm probably, now that I think about it, I'm probably slowing down too much. I am slowing down too much. Do you know why? Or rather, do you know how I know that I've slowed down too much? We completely killed off all of our speed. I accidentally just killed off all of our speed. I'm sorry that you keep on seeing that set target screen pop up. I used the right mouse button to move the camera, but it's also liking to set target or focus at the same time. But we accidentally just killed all of our speed. So this is just a full-on just dropping into the atmosphere. I suppose I should probably decouple before we get into the thicker part of it, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and get up ourselves sideways so we can just kind of throw this away. Wait for it, and now. There we go. Bye-bye. Please do not come back and hit me. Those wings are still going to give it, like, some lift. You can actually just saw it. It went horizontal. The wings got the air, and it moved out that direction. And it is coming back. Please don't. Stay away. There it goes. It should hit the water before we do. It is much heavier. Default name 8. Oh, it is gone. It is just straight out of here. Oh, we are not even burning up. No, this is one of probably the easiest re-entries I've had in a long time. Accidentally kill off all your speed. Well, I guess you don't have enough speed to burn up in the atmosphere. We can just kind of very lazily just float on down through the clouds. Take a look at the environment. Take it all in. We were here just not too long ago. This mission, actually, this is a mission clock down here. We've been out in space for 41 days. So nearly, Bill Kerman has been out for more than a month. And boy, what a significant first flight. Let's go ahead and start opening up these chutes. Though, back to where I was talking about originally, these aren't going to deploy into like the very final bits of the atmosphere. But right now, they are slowing us down, just dragging through the air like that. There they go, 1,000 meters, those deploy, slowing us down more. Now the main chute should deploy soon. There it goes. Slows down even more. I'm gonna say it's gonna stop at 10.7. 11.8. Not even close. I lied to you all. I do love how the water is... It's graphically much better now than what it was before, but I gotta say, for some reason, it kind of looks like... It looks a little bit like it's kind of like a tarp. Like, you know, like if you ever saw someone with a pool and like the water, like the big tarp on top of it, as I just sit here and float. Okay. Early access. Early access. But man, we did it, DGDs. We went all the way from our base, which we just flew over. So yeah, that works out. We came away screaming over the atmosphere like this. So we launched from here, went all the way to orbit, went out to the moon, came back, and splashed down somewhere off the coast of... Well, this is Africa. This is Spain. This is some weird Europe, Russia thing. This is somewhere down near the Philippines? I would assume off the coast of, like, Vietnam around here? I don't know. I think that's Korea. I think they did some weird meshing for this planet to kind of make it all look similar. But, hey, we did it. So, thank you, DigiDs, for staying with me on this too long of a journey. It is probably an hour-long video at this point, almost. And it has been a real adventure. I'm going to be playing this a whole bunch now in my time off. And trying to get better at it, get some new rocket ideas. And next episode, we will be flying and building some planes. So again, thank you, DigiDs, for stopping by and watching this video. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. Give it a like. Leave a comment down below. Do everything that you want. You know how YouTube works. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.